Over the past 20 years, I've been involved in transactions totaling about $300 billion of commercial real estate and finance. These are some of the largest transactions in history with some of the most sophisticated parties on Wall Street and on Main Street. And from that experience, I'm going to share with you today 3 observations that take into account AI and the impact that it will have on the future of contracts. And I specifically want to speak to you about how we ensure that smart contracts are also intelligent contracts. Observation number 1, dynamic versus static contracts. Most contracts today that are entered into between large companies and corporations are static, meaning the terms are set at the time that you sign the contract. These contracts may be for 20 years, 30 years or so, and yet the terms don't change over that period. So for example, I may lease to you an office building for the next 20 years, and the rent on that office building lease may, in fact, stay the same over a 20-year period. With the advent of AI, we have to ask ourselves, does it make sense that with all of the things changing in the world over the last 20 years or the next 20, why do corporations allow their fundamental agreements to remain static and not evolve with time? We've looked at this and we think that there's a marketplace for dynamic contracts where the terms are constantly changing, where it's a constantly learning contract and agreement, taking in streams of data and constantly self-correcting, dynamically moving over time. For example, in the office building lease, there's no reason that your rent for that office building couldn't change moment by moment, such that it is automatically and always in sync with whatever the market rents are. That's price equilibrium. Observation number 2, the migration to the mean. Conventional contracts are bespoke and highly negotiated. The future of contracts is one of a one-size-fits-all, something that is standardized and uniform. And we have to ask ourselves, is that a good thing? Might we end up with contracts, if they are standardized, that are one-sided, that are lopsided in favor of one party to the detriment of the other? We actually think that the outcome is different. If we are successful in harnessing the explosion of information that we have through the use of AI, we believe that there will be a migration to the mean, a race to the middle, as opposed to a race to the bottom, where equilibrium and stability and less risk reside. Observation number 3, the right to renege. And this is a big question mark. Conventional contracts rely on humans for performance. That necessarily means that humans can choose not to perform. If the future of contracts is autonomous and not relying on humans, it necessarily means that we're losing something, the right to renege. Human beings are fickle. They change their mind. And if we have self-enforcing and self-executing contracts, as we're seeing what the future looks like, it means that we're essentially losing a bit of our free will, the right to change our mind. We don't know if this is a good thing. It upends thousands of years of legal jurisprudence, but it's something for you to consider as you, the technologists in the world, go out and create new technologies that ultimately affect the front lines of commerce. Thank you.